Roses Are Red podcast with your hosts, Mrs. Red Rose and Sam I Am from the Married Couples Podcast.
I love that. I so love that.
I'm so happy he does it.
You've got a good husband.
Sometimes. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, sometimes when he says no to me, then we have issues. But well, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. We have a very special guest, but before we introduce her, let's go ahead and do a disclaimer. Make sure you go ahead and do your own research and don't take our word for it. This is the research we've done, what we've come up with, our own opinions, and go ahead and make your own opinion. Please leave a comment. There is a subscribe button right on top. Go ahead and put your phone camera to that, and that will hit you right into our YouTube page, and you can go ahead and leave a comment. We'll go ahead and paste it on here and let everybody know that you're here. Hey, Tiff, thank you for coming. Love ya, girl. Love ya. And so please, and this is also a disclaimer that why am I drawing?
There's a trigger warning.
Trigger warning.
Good job. You're a pro at this already, Jamie.
Yes. Sam, who do we have today?
We have my lovely sister, Jamie, or Mella. Funny story. When we were kids, I'm named after my grandfather, Sam, and all of his siblings called him Samutsu. I don't think it's correct for Sam. I'm pretty sure, but that's what they called him. So that was my Italian name. And Jamie goes, well, what's my Italian name? And our Aunt Kitty said, well, it's Jamela, duh. And so she's been Mella ever since. So welcome, Mella. Mella, tell us what we're talking about tonight.
So there's a serial killer in Australia. His name is Peter Dupas. I read the book and I thought it was Dupas, but it's Dupas, which actually fits quite a bit.
Well, listening to the Australians say it, I can't even say it like them, but it's Dupas, yes.
Right, it's Dupas. But he was not, so he was held under wraps for so long, and I'm not sure you guys actually know this, but because he was, they were trying to use him in psychological cases.
Like testing?
So, yes. So what they're saying is that he could have, if they would have caught it soon enough, shown why psychopaths are the way they are.
Huh.
Essays happened because of this, so on and so forth. So they kept it under wrap for a very long time. That's why it's just now recently surfaced.
Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting. Yeah. And people will understand a little bit more when we kind of get into the whole story. But yeah, I have something I'm holding here for a minute to remember to say. But really quick, since you are here on the show, I think we should do. Hey, Selena, that's Rose's daughter.
That's my daughter, by the way.
I don't see any.
Okay, she says, "What's up, bitches? Who ready to spill some tea?"
I will spill some tea. I will spill some.
Welcome. Thank you for listening. But I think this is what we do on our show, right, Rose? We do a start off shot to commemorate the show. And I think it will be wonderful to have a shot with you, sister, and unbiological sister there with Rose. So I've got my sisters here on the show. All right, let's do a shot.
There you go. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
So before we, get into the nitty gritty, do you want to know why people tap their shot glass?
Yes, I would love to know, even though I know.
Because in the old days, people would poison your shot. So if you tapped it on the bar table, the poison would rise to the top. So people would do
Huh.
this to see if it was poisoned or not.
Oh, very interesting.
Interesting.
It's
I did
amazing
not know that.
that it kept going.
Right.
I never worry about being poisoned. I'm not a thing.
Well, I kind of worry a little sometimes. No, I'm just kidding.
You might want to worry.
I've got 4 kids. I
I've
don't
done
know what they'll
worse.
do if they don't get their way. My 4 kids, I don't know. Especially that one, Selena, I don't know. She is my morbid one. So yeah, definitely. So this is a very interesting story, and it's been driving me insane all week long because of a lot of things. For one, before we start our story,
Yeah,
let
let's
me
do
go
some
ahead and give
updates.
you an
Yes.
update. I'm jumping ahead of myself because I'm like, this is such a good story. Gypsy Rose is got a nose job done this past week.
Jeez Louise.
She's still saying that she's not with this guy, Kyle, I think his name, or Ken, or I don't know. But anyways, out of her bunch of men, she's saying that she's not with them. They're just good friends. But they have matching tattoos now, and with a nose job.
I
Her ex-husband came out publicly. He said he's not doing well. He is now the proud owner of her dog that she wanted. So
wow.
at least out of the divorce, he got a dog, I guess. I mean,
I would
She's
rather
yeah.
have the dog.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she is living in a hotel, isn't she? Aren't they like staying in a hotel, but they're not fucking?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, with the new guy.
Well, and my question is, I'd love to know now his side is where if he thinks she is controlling, because she came out saying that he was controlling, he was this, he was that. I
Right.
love to know that now if he's thinking differently from what he was saying in the beginning, now is the truth really going to come out? Is this going to be a three-way story? Because after in June or July, her documentary is coming out on life after prison with Gypsy Rose.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Yes,
We may have to do a we
we're
may
gonna
have
have
to
to do.
do a revisit.
Yes, so I'm very, very curious to see.
So
So
I
stay
think
tuned
he's
for that.
very docile. I think that I think he truly did love her. Like I think
I
she's very manipulative and he truly did love her and she used him,
Mhm.
in
Oh,
my opinion.
absolutely.
I mean,
So
she's
I think
Absolutely.
right, no, I get that. And I think 1,000%, like, could he benefit from doing it? I think so. But by his character, I don't think he'll do it. Like,
I don't know, there
I
was
don't know.
no
I
prenup signed.
I get
So,
because he truly thought she loved him.
yes,
I
absolutely.
mean, that's a big thing. Love goes a long way, especially no offense to the dude, he's not that attractive. Okay, he's
especially
a
when you're
little on the heavier side.
giving it up.
So right.
Oh,
So
you let
in
me
my,
put it in you and touch your boobies? Okay.
I'll do whatever you want, you know. So in my opinion, I think that he was just love struck, and he's probably hurting so bad right now.
After seeing his picture recently, that he was that they brought out of him, he looks depressed. He looks really down. He doesn't look happy. He's not where she's at. Like she's smiling, holding hands with this guy, going getting tattoos and you know what I mean, making these videos and saying, "Oh, but we're not together, but we're in the same hotel." Like it is
She's only
yeah.
saying they're not together because she's still married. Let's be real. She doesn't want that to be part of the divorce proceeding. You know what I mean? Oh, look at that. Tiffy's got an update. It says
Oh,
our girl Risa Tisa just posted a TT update. She's on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine. So or Rolling Out magazine. Sorry, I just read Rolling and added Stone to that. My fault.
I
I
would.
would be the same thing. I'd do the same thing, you know.
It
So
is what it
yeah.
is.
But and I've been seeing more of Risa coming out more with more videos on
Mhm.
on TikTok and stuff. So I've been seeing that. Now I'm wondering on her side too. Did now a little bit of the money kind of, influenced a lot of this stuff now that she's like, I got to keep it going? Is it going to die
Maybe.
down soon because she's dying down? Like it was a good run, but now
Right.
She's
But
just
what else?
manipulative.
Well, now we're talking about Risa Tisa, like we did last week.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, my
So,
bad.
but honestly, with her, she had the one story to tell. Where do we go from here? You know what I mean? That's
Mhm.
it. Selena. And I'm
Oh
going to
my
read them
god.
just because Jamie can't see it. And sorry, I'm not going to call you Mella, probably. It says, I don't get why she got a nose job. She still looks the damn same.
Girl, I want a nose job so bad. I got
You
the
don't
Italian
need
nose.
You don't need it. You don't
No.
need it.
You are gorgeous. You're good.
Yes. Oh, stop. Uh, and then Tiffy says, was there any word of at all if the breakup was mutual or if he wanted to continue? I'm pretty sure he wanted to continue.
I
Um,
think so. But there is no, like I said, there's no prenup. So whatever she made, half of it is his. And if she's spending all of the thing, she's got to give half of that up.
I mean,
It
hold on though. They were only
well,
married. They've only been married, what, 3 months?
I don't know how the
Not
system
even a
is over where
year.
they're from.
My
I don't
thought
know.
is if there was no, I mean, it's not like they've been married for years and she made her money with him. I mean, she has a little bit but it's only been for a few months. It's not like he was the man behind the woman. You know what I mean?
But
Um,
remember, they did it together though. She made her story with him together.
I mean, he should have his own part of that. I mean, meaning he should have, if they were, but really they've been married, they don't have a kid, and they've been married less than a year. They could technically get an annulment and he wouldn't, I mean, it can just be absolved like nothing ever happened.
True, but
I don't think he's in it for the money.
I don't think so, but anybody else would be like any lawyer would be like, "Look, you guys made your fame together." I mean, let's be honest. They
Agree.
made their fame together. She didn't just come out by herself. She came out
However,
married already
she
with
also
him.
had fame prior, and had he not been there, she would have still been making the money. You know what I mean?
Yes, but
She would
not
have still told her story. He was just ancillary. He was just secondary to the Gypsy Rose story. Just one of many that she has. I mean, she was
She
engaged
was
to the guy
he was a
she's with now. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't feel
he was
like
a pawn.
he was a pawn. I don't really feel like he has. If in
But
court,
I
I don't
think
think
he
it would
should
hold up.
be I think that they could prove that he was a pawn and then be like, he gets this money because he was a pawn in her scheme. It's just
yeah,
another it's
I
just
think he used her.
another stepping stone for her,
I think
So
yeah.
you get your glory and you use all these people, right? I
Mhm.
think I think that's crap.
Well, it is
Like
crap.
I think that's a
and
good
I
point that they might bring up in court because they're going to say, you know what, you used your ex-boyfriend to kill your mom. You used
right.
this person to get out of jail to have a home to come to have somebody to
Yep.
say, hey, she's a good person I mean, come on, the guy is not, let's be honest, the guy's not a 10.
he's
Let's just
Right.
be honest. He's not a 10.
he's barely a one. I
Yeah, but I mean, but he was good at being manipulated for someone who's a narcissist to be able to do what she did good because you know what? I think that girl is fucking smart. I'm gonna be honest. I think that
I
fucking girl's
agree.
smart. I think she knows what
I
she's
agree.
doing. I
I
think she's seen a lot. I think she's done her research a lot on a lot of this stuff. I think she's fucking smart and she knows how to trap the ones who are not
I think she was taught that
smart
from
enough.
birth, is what I think.
I mean, I
Yeah,
agree. I think
You
her
know?
mama taught her well, but
yeah,
then she got
absolutely.
greedy.
Mhm.
Mhm, and I think that's where we're at
So,
now, and I think this new
right.
guy is the same way as she is.
Could be.
I agree.
Because remember, that is her ex-fiancé from prison. the
Right.
guy that she's with now, that's her ex. So he knows
Right.
everything about her. So what is it to say, hey, you know what? Go ahead and find yourself somebody that they'll be able to take care of you when you get out of prison, be able to give you a good light because I don't know if I don't know his background on this guy. So what if there's something there that he's got? Do you know what I mean?
They probably, yeah, you're right. It could be a scheme. I mean, they could have been like, all right, find somebody to help you get out. I'm not stable enough, use this dude, marry him, whatever. And then, after
Do
a few
what you got to
months,
do.
leave.
Yeah,
And
do
then
what you got to do.
we'll
Right.
reap the benefits. Yeah.
I mean,
That
come
could
on, 3
definitely
months
be.
later. And I mean, if you look at all the
Two
pictures out there,
two narcissists and two manipulators together,
It's
it's a
dangerous.
shit show. It is
Yes.
dangerous. And
it
I
is.
don't believe that there's going to be a safe person. Something else is going to happen. You don't just do something once and be like, "Oh, I kind of got away with it."
I
And
just hope
then
she doesn't procreate. I don't think she needs to bring any other human
I
into the
don't think
world.
she other. No.
I feel like she's going to, and then
I think that's her main goal,
I
but I
do
think it's going to be
too
the same as it was. She's going to do the
for
exact same
her.
thing.
That's what I'm saying. I think that if she does procreate, they should take the baby away right away because who
No,
knows?
agree.
I mean, and
Agree.
I'm always the optimist, and I try to look at the brighter side or the good in people, and that's where I get fucked up because narcissists go, "Oh, I'm going to choose you," you know what I mean? But not so much anymore. But part of me goes, "Oh, but maybe." But she's actually just really showing now that she is going to repeat her mother's mistakes.
I mean,
So
look. This is the gentleman who killed her mom.
yeah, I know she
Okay,
Right.
manipulated him too. I mean.
Look at the ex fiance though.
and
No,
look
the
at him.
ex-fiance is okay looking. I mean, he's not great, but I mean,
Right.
that's
Right.
Now, does she look like where she's saying, "Oh, he was controlling and he wasn't"? I mean,
no,
there's videos where she's literally tapping on him and telling him to be quiet on certain
right?
interviews
Like, shut the fuck
that's
up.
going on.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yes,
know, I kind of feel for him,
I
to be
kind of
honest
do
with you.
too.
I
He's
do
Like,
too.
he's the
But
guy who's always
now
been
on the
friend zoned, and then this girl showed him attention and said, "I'm not gonna friend zone you. I'm gonna." Whatever. And then she was like, sorry, just joking. I know we got married and I let you touch my boobs, but now I'm going to friend zone you forever. You know what I
and
mean?
yeah,
I
but
mean,
on
look
the
at a
other
new
hand,
man.
no one could ever make me take a life.
Well, right, not that first one, but her actual. I,
Oh yeah, no, agreed, agreed. You
however,
touch my boob, I get it.
but the boyfriend that did take the life, I mean, he had some mental illness as well. He
Right.
claimed to have multiple personalities, a personality disorder in that respect. And she played on it saying, and she would say, "Oh, but she didn't, she just took his weaknesses and used him against him." So I think he was easy pickings. You know what I mean? He already
No,
had
I
some
agree.
issues on his own, and I can't say if I mean, I don't know. This is just me. I mean, if I was him and I have these disorders and this woman comes along or girl comes along and promises me the world, but you got to kill my mom, you might do it. You know what I mean?
Here,
Right.
here's the thing.
I
I think she's playing the
She's playing
victim,
all of them. Yeah.
the victim card, you know what, my mom was this type of way with me, like the whole
She
feel
thinks she
sorry
should get
for
a free
me.
pass, and then they gave her less time than him, which I kind of understand because she was victimized. I mean, she was. I mean, her mom was not good to her. However,
yeah, she wasn't fucking Dorothy Lee, but
The only thing what I don't understand on this whole situation, what I don't understand is why this case was so big because she was not the first person to murder their parents. There's someone called
I
Jennifer.
agree.
Um, there's a
But
there's a
was it a
documentary.
Munchausen by proxy sort of situation? The reason this case was so big is because of what her mother put her through and got
She
away
can't
with.
be the first. She
Well, it
cannot be
But
the
wasn't
first.
the first, but it was
it
the first
wasn't.
one that people knew about. I mean, there's been multiple Munchausen by proxies. There has. However, this one, I mean, her mom put her in Make-A-Wish how many times? Her
Right.
you know what I mean? It's just been, there's so much in there that I think it's a salacious story. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
new. People want to hear
Um,
about it.
so my main thing is true crime, that type of thing. Like I love
Mhm.
it, right? I thrive on it. There is so many other stories out there that have not made it like Gypsy Rose. So it's almost like she sold her story
Well, she
to
sold her
get
soul.
she sold everything. She did.
Yes.
But there's so many more out there where they didn't kill their mama
Well,
and then
and
And
become into fame.
they
you
also
might know
didn't
this.
capitalize on their trauma. You know what I mean?
Right.
You might know this more too. I thought under my impression now, and this is because I read it when the case of Selena and Yolanda, when Yolanda is about to be released for the Selena case, the big
Mhm.
singer that was
Yes.
murdered. I thought, and that was something that they brought out, and I didn't do very much research on it, so do apologize for that. But I thought because they said it on a podcast that they said, you're not allowed to capitalize on what you've done wrong. So like Yolanda can't capitalize for killing Selena. Like she can't make any money. She can put out a book, do whatever. She can't make any money off of it because of it. Now I don't know if that's just for the state of Texas. I don't know if that's just for the state of, I don't know very much about it. But I'm
So
wondering.
if you if if you
So
can if you do the crime, right? So she
Mhm.
didn't technically do the crime, right? She had her
but she also went
lover.
to jail for it as
She did, but as a conspiracy,
a conspirator. That's not what
yeah, a
I
conspirator. No, it wasn't what I was going to say either.
I know.
Um, but she's not the main point. She is not the one that committed the heinous crime.
And
So at
technically,
that
she's the one who's the crime was committed to because she was the victim of her mother.
exactly. So they're saying this victim needs to be able to tell her story, right? Everything else came out later. So
Mhm.
they already started this before she even got charged with anything. They have videos, they have interviews where she's the victim. So your main thought right now is this is a victim. We want to hear her story.
Mhm. And I think she's
So
capitalizing on that. And I think like I said, I think she's fucking smart. I think she knows what she's doing. I really do. And I think she knows on which men to go for because look at her ex-husband, look at the man that killed her mother. Those are smart. The only
Well,
difference is now this guy that she's dating is a little bit different.
so I agree with that, and I think that any narcissist, abuser, whatever, can innately pick out the weak, the pick off the weak and target that one to do their bidding.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's just kind of the way abusers do. So whether you're female, male, they get good at finding the weak. Even if the person on a lot of fronts isn't weak, but they have, you know, they're empathetic or whatever, they can prey on that little bit, and knowing they can whittle away at it. And I think you're right. She is smart in the fact that whatever it is that a narcissist or abuser but they're smart enough. They know they can pick out the traits of the people who can best do their bidding. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
What
Yeah.
who they can control, who they can get to do what they want. Whatever it is, I think they have an innate sense. And it's not a superpower. They're like a supervillain. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
do that, and you're right. And I think again, I am my remember when we first did Gypsy Rose, I was like, I don't know, she was the victim. I feel like,
Mhm.
she probably, because you've said, yeah, I think she was in on it. I think again, she was victimized, she was abused, and all by her mom, but I also think her mom taught her very well. And it's also
I
in
think
her
so too.
it's in her DNA. It's in her genetics. For some
Yeah.
reason, it's, her mom was like, because her mom's mom, her grandma did it to her mom, but not
I
as
think she
big.
was
You know
taught
what I
well.
mean?
I
Yes, I
think she
do
was
too.
taught well, and I think that she ended up liking the sympathy life.
Of
The,
course.
"Oh, poor
Look at all the
baby,"
attention she
yeah, and
garners
I
from
think
it.
for her, she's done her research very, very well to
Hmm.
keep it up.
I do.
And that's where we're at with her, and
Yeah.
well, and especially now that she has a new series coming out, Life After Prison with Gypsy Rose. That's going to be interesting to see. Um, you know, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be really honest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it because this is what we do, right? This is what we do. This is part of we do. This is
Right.
part of our show. Yes, I'm gonna watch it. But if I didn't do this show, to be honest to you, I
Mm-mm.
wouldn't give her that uh that view. I wouldn't give her that view. I don't follow her on Instagram. I know she has an Instagram, or no, she's deleted her Instagram account. I think she just has TikTok now. I don't follow her. I'm not giving her that view. I'm sorry,
No,
just
I don't wanna give her money. I mean,
no.
I'm sure we are gonna watch the thing because we'll
Yeah.
probably talk about it. However, it is I don't wanna give her that either, you know what I mean? There's a few things that we've done that I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna,"
Yeah.
you know?
You know.
So, yeah, I get that.
So we have a couple comments here. We've got
Yeah.
Tiff. Um, oh,
Uh
where are we at? Oh, here we go. I'm like going everywhere. I don't can you want to read it?
Yeah. Was there any word at all if the breakup was mutual or if he wanted to continue? I believe he still wanted to be with her. And then she says, I imagine as she joined, this is for Risa Tisa. We're kind of
Oh,
going back and forth. This one's for Risa Tisa. I imagine as she joined the TikTok payout program, she'll be trying to keep momentum. I think they can be paid for up to 60 videos a month. So that makes sense. Again,
mhm.
she only has the one story to tell, so I'm a little confused on where she's going to go. She says it'll be interesting to see if she can keep our interest. So there's that. Tiffy also says if he didn't want it to end, and they have to divide, or so have to divide assets. Sorry, words are hard. He would probably drag it out. I'm not sure if he's the type to drag it out.
You know
I
what?
think
Only
she's
time
the
will
type to
tell.
drag it out, but I'm not sure. She also says, I wonder if Gypsy maybe doesn't know anything other than using people. Look at how she was raised. And that's how I feel as well. I mean, that's what she knows, it's what she's doing. Um,
But but wait, before we go to the next comment, I do want to say this. Here's the thing. We're all raised with certain backgrounds, right? We all have a past. We all have a walk of life, right?
well, that's true.
And we all have decisions to make. We can be the same person as our parents. We can choose to be different. We have three
Well,
options in life.
yes,
We either follow, be you, or go a different route. Do you know what I
right.
mean?
Yes.
And for me, if I knew in my heart that wasn't right, why the fuck would I do? Why would I go back to it?
Yeah, I don't know.
If I already know what the outcome is, if I know what the outcome is, why would I go back to it?
I
Because she
think
knows what the outcome was. She knows, I mean, look at what happened to
and
her
that's
mom.
true, and honestly, we could do this whole show on this, but, I
Right?
do also think that, sometimes people go, even though they can make the change, they go to what is comfortable. And comfortable is manipulation and abuse. So I don't think that that's right. I just think some people don't feel like they're strong enough to change the tide, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So then Tiffy goes, how long has she known the second guy? Is there a trauma bond there? The second guy, or the guy that she's with now, was her fiance from jail. And so she's known him a little while, longer than the current husband, but not as long as the guy that killed. Um, I'm
Thank
trying to
you,
go through these
Dave.
quick. And then Dave says impressive production skill. The production skills.
Production.
Jesus Christ. The show doesn't miss a beat with you three ladies. Show is going awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Um,
Thank you. Well, I'm
and then
learning from the best.
yeah,
So
we're all teaching each other actually. And then Tiffy says, here in Australia, I don't think you're even allowed to write about your crime. Only someone else can. So, I mean, I
and and I think that is a perfect moment.
segue into
The
the
next
next.
So my ears
one.
don't work.
Okay, can you hear us?
Okay.
Piquito.
Turn
Hey,
off your phone.
if you need to jump out and come back in, I can bring you right back
Okay,
up.
you can do that?
Yeah, I can
Yes.
do that.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I think we should get a next shot ready before we go
I
to the
think
next
so
as we're
too.
waiting for your sister.
Yes.
And tell me, how do you like that one?
Oh my gosh, it's so stinking good. It is yeah, so good. I like that it's not as sweet as the other. I loved the other. I would be able to sip on it all night. This one has a touch of sweetness. But so good. And I don't even have to chill it, which
No, that's why I love certain tequila. I hate having to go to the freezer, pull it out, put you
right,
know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
yeah. I mean, I do enjoy it chilled, but hey, AC.
Hey, hey guys,
We
AC
love
is
you
busy.
too.
By the way, guys, AC is busy tonight doing some
He's
family
got
stuff and
yes.
having fun out in Vegas. So we have Sam's sister tonight hanging out with us, and it is, we miss the AC, so I'm hoping you're drinking a lot out there for us and having fun and a blast.
All
And
right,
on
you
that
ready?
note,
Mela, you got
So
one
should
or
we
no?
jump into Peter Dupas?
Yes,
yes,
after with a shot.
are you ready for your shot?
You doing a
Oh, we
shot?
have a shot?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the show,
God.
dude.
You're gonna
Oh,
start making me swear in Spanish.
Well, that's fine.
Sure.
Rose will understand. Who's Son of Thunder?
Um, hey, I wanna say that that's Frankie B, but I'm not sure.
Sweet.
So,
All right. We ready?
cheers, everyone.
Cheers, bitches.
Cheers.
If we keep doing these shots, I'm not gonna be able to tell the story.
All right.
Okay,
So let's tell this story. Peter Dupas.
Peter you know what? I kept calling him Doofus. Yes, it
It is
is
Frankie
Frankie
B.
B.
Yes. Woohoo.
Peter, I kept calling him Doofus. I
So did
apologize.
Dave.
He was the youngest of 3, born in a fairly normal family. He was born in Sydney, New South Wales, and his family moved to Melbourne, Victoria, while he was a toddler. Nothing where we could say that his mom and dad were, abusive or anything like that. He was, like I said, the youngest of 3 siblings. All siblings were older, but they were all treated fairly like they were the only child. So each child was treated the same. There was no difference on any of them. Peter then went off to high school, and from my understanding, in high school, he was bullied, and bullied in his ears. Teachers were saying that he wasn't that smart. He was a slow learner, needed a little bit more of help. Peter was also in his teens when he was caught watching other people through the windows. So, they had a little bit of a disturbance there with him. Which, it's kind of weird. And he would steal people's underwears, or the women's underwears, not just anybody. It was women underwears, which was that's when he was caught back when he was a teenager. Now in October 3rd, Peter went to his neighbor's house requesting to borrow a knife. He said he needed it to peel vegetables. And that's when his first victim was. He ended up stabbing her in the face, neck, hands as she was fighting back to protect her and her daughter because she had her daughter there. And she was trying to protect her. He later went on to tell the police that he couldn't help himself and he did not know why he was attacking women. He was placed in an 18-month probation and was hospitalized for evaluation. He did only 2 weeks and then was let go.
So
And this is where our story
here's the
begins.
thing. So they said his mom was a helicopter mom, which I get. I'm a flipping helicopter mom. His dad, on the other hand, was super strict.
Okay, what's a helicopter mom? I've never heard of that term.
Someone that
hovers and
over their children.
Okay.
They want their kids, it's like, are my kids okay? I need my kids, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to lie. I'm that person.
oh, she
Like,
is.
my kids
That's
are my
why
life. They will
I found it
always
funny
be
as
my
I
life.
was. I found it funny as I was watching this. I was like, oh, that's funny. My sister's a helicopter mom. Thank goodness her kids didn't do
I
this.
mean, Samantha, we might fight, but it's okay.
And don't anthem
No,
me.
I am. My kids are absolutely my life. And if it was, I don't think I'd be the woman I am now without my children. And I don't know. So my kids
However,
are not going to turn out to
had your
serial rape and kill people, though.
watch what
Like
you're
just
saying.
because I'm a helicopter mom.
However, had one of your children done, attack somebody with a knife, you wouldn't have said it was I think his mom called it a brainstorm, where it's fine, it's okay. It's just a brainstorm. He just momentarily lost his mind, right?
Right.
You wouldn't, if something happened like that with one of your children, and
No, like in
any of us,
1,000%. So
we would be like, what the fuck did you do? Right?
my
We
son's
wouldn't.
dad wasn't the nicest dude in the world, right?
Mhm.
So if something were to happen and my son was to harm somebody else, bro, I don't think I could take it. Like
You
No.
wouldn't make
you're not
excuses
going to do
for
this
him,
to
though.
another woman.
Right.
Plain
This
and
is what
simple.
Peter looks like. This is what Peter Dupas looks.
So
With
this is an actual quote from Dr. Alan
Bartholomew.
Bartholomew. Sorry, words are hard and they
Words
made me
are
do
hard.
shots. So here is actual quote. I am reasonably certain that this youth has a serious psychosexual problem, that he is using the technique of denial as a coping device, and that he is to be seen as a potentially dangerous. He is to be seen as potentially dangerous. The denial technique makes for a huge difficulty in treatment. We cannot treat him.
That's insane. Literally.
So this is from day one. This is his first offense. Quoted by his doctor.
15 years old, mind you.
He's 15.
And in watching the documentary or whatever, the woman who he he attacked was saying he only got 18 months in prison. He was, or not even prison, 18 months probation, 2
Yeah.
weeks in a psychiatric ward. And because he was in that, he was very good at being like, I'm fine, whatever. He was very good at masking his issues. Jamie, why don't you, I can only see the top of your, or the bottom of your face. You might need to tilt your phone.
It's fine.
But then they let him,
It's
he got to
fine.
go home, and she goes, we need to move. You know what I mean? I can't stay here next to this child who's 15 years old who assaulted me.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's my thing. And so I read the book. That's
Mhm.
what got me started on this. And
What is the
the
name of the
way
book,
he
by the way?
spoke was ridiculous.
Is it his, I mean, is it in his own words?
No,
Okay.
but
What's the
it's
name of the book?
testimonial.
Okay.
So it's quoted. This is what he said on record.
Right. What is the
But
name of the
he
book?
stated that he had, so he started on animals
Oh, that's fun.
to
I mean,
see
that's
if they
usually what
would
happens.
survive. So, I mean,
And
and
kind of going back into his younger years, that he had to repeat his freshman year of high school. They the kid, everybody commented on how dark his eyes were.
right,
Everybody comment on that.
Everyone commented, like they even likened him to Pugsley from the Addams Family.
right,
That
right,
initially, but because he had older parents, he learned to uh, buddy up to the people who were older to him. He also had kind of a mommy complex where he wanted women to mother him. You know what I mean? However, he also had a disdain for women, for mothers, and held them. He was an enigma where he was like, I hate mothers and whatever, but this. So, what are we putting up here, Rose?
This is his picture.
Yeah, his eyes
Of
are very dark.
this is yeah. I
And they
mean, but
look
look at
devoid
his
of
face.
any emotion, right?
Yeah, and let me just play like at least a sec. At least
Yeah.
a couple seconds of what they talk about here. Because of the uh, things that they have here on YouTube, and I think we lost your sister here.
Oh,
We are not allowed.
she'll come back.
I can only have certain amount of minutes
Mhm.
on here, and then we'll cut it off, or we can talk over it. But like I said, you guys do your own research. Check it out. He's all over YouTube. He's known for the most Australian serial killer. Like, I mean, the stuff they talk about on YouTube about him, it's like it makes you cringe, kind of going, "Geez, Louise!" Like, man, this is what we have out in society. Because I'm pretty sure he's not the only one. You know what I mean? Um, and it makes it crazy. Before we go on to that, let me read a couple of quotes here. Yes, it is Frank. We've got your sister back here. The next thing was you guys need therapy. Thanks, Frank. I love Frankie B. He's been a
Yes. Yes.
very good friend of mine from other apps, and he is amazing.
Agreed.
Um,
Jamie, tilt
uh,
your camera up a little bit.
I don't know what my daughter's saying here, mom. You mom, okay? Just
Oh, she
kidding.
was saying you're a helicopter mom.
Oh, you know
Well,
what?
come on, you are. Let's be
I
real.
am.
Jamie, did you know that Rose set her daughter up with her husband by creating a an account on a dating app and pretending to be her daughter and hooking them up. Now it worked out, but I mean, Rose is kind of the definition of a helicopter mom, just like you.
I am. I am.
Jamie, you need to tilt your camera up. There we go. I can see your face now.
Girl, I don't know what I'm doing. This
No,
shit
you're
is
good.
You're good.
ridiculous.
We
You're
got you.
good. You're
Okay, am I good now?
Just
Yeah.
a touch. No, we can just see your tits right now.
good.
Oh.
Go up. Just tilt it a little bit up.
Which I'm sure
Up, up,
people
up.
will. No, up, not down.
Which I'm pretty sure people will love.
I know. I'm sure that's a great thing.
Um,
And then Son of Thunder said, like, keeping their kids in a bubble, kind of. The helicopter mom. Yes. And then Son of Thunder, Frankie B said, what was that quote again? You were talking about quotes. And then it said, referring to the drinking comment. Now she's gone again.
she said, when you tap your shot glass down, it's if it was poison.
Yes.
All I remember right now is if it was poison.
Yes. Exactly.
But this is
All right.
this is what he looks like. This is who we're talking about.
He is very unassuming, correct? I mean, you wouldn't think this face would be a murder. Oh Lord, yes, Kristen Mingle. I believe that is what it was.
Yeah, lie. It was Tinder.
Oh, wait, what?
Nothing.
And then from the doctor.
Oh, the quote from the doctor. Yes.
Okay.
Jamie, what was the quote from the doctor?
The quote was, I am reasonably certain that this youth has a serious psychosexual problem, that he is using the technique of denial as a coping device, and that he is to be seen as potentially dangerous. The denial technique makes for a huge difficulty in treatment.
Which
Here's the thing. If someone tells you, I can't control myself at the age of he was what, when he convicted his first one, he was
15.
15. But before that, he was caught. He was a peeping Tom.
Yes, stealing underwear.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you tell you tell authorities. These are authorities. This is not like a regular person on the street. You're telling authorities, hey, I have a problem. I don't know how to control my problem.
I don't think he said he had a problem though. He just was like,
No, but
I
as
didn't do it.
your psychologist that states that, why didn't the judicial system say, hey, he's a threat?
Let's
he
keep
did tell
going a
police.
little bit. Let's keep going a little bit. I'm sorry.
But he did tell police he could not help himself, and he did not know why he was attacking women. He did tell police when he got caught when he was, stabbed his neighbor. He did tell them and said that he didn't know how to control himself. Why at that point they only gave him what they gave him, which is just beyond me.
Well,
but
yeah, why? And because he behaved in the mental hospital or the psychiatric ward or whatever it was,
as a model citizen.
As a model citizen, they were like, "No, he's fine. It's fine. Well, you don't see anything wrong. It's okay." However, somebody did. Yes, please.
Yeah, somebody did. Let's see.
There we go.
Oh, is it playing? No. Hold on.
Now it is.
On Peter Dupas, and we discovered that in fact that he was a serial violent predator against women.
So right there, they're already telling they already know.
Right.
Now, let me, he was just like, I don't know. I'm trying. Let me
let's not go too far. Yeah.
Let me go back a little bit. I think I went too far here.
Yes.
I think I went way too far here.
Way too far. We're
not there yet. Yeah, we're not there yet.
Okay, hold on.
Notorious Dupas preyed on the women of Victoria.
No,
He's
it's
driven by dark demons.
Yeah, we're not there
It-
yet.
no, it's
Compulsions.
way past
Okay.
that, or way before that.
Okay. All right. I think this is where
So
that series starts.
his first victim, other than peeping Tom, whatever, but his first offense was 1974.
No, it was
It,
actually 1968 on October 3rd, where he attempted, where he sliced up, he asked for the knife for his neighbor, and when she gave it to him, he attacked her. That's when
Uh,
he got the 18 months. So the next offense,
9 years.
n-
July
the
25th.
sorry, he got
oh,
18 months of probation that time. So the
correct.
next offense was in 1974.
On July
You're right.
25th.
1968 at age 15. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So the
And
next, go ahead.
so then
And here's
he
the convention. Here's the convention. Words are fucking hard. I'm going to use Sam's word.
They are fucking hard. Let's be real.
Especially after a couple drinks. Yeah, definitely
Yes,
hard.
absolutely.
So here are his dates and what he's been convicted for. The R word, the SA. We cannot say those words because of things here
I
on
mean,
YouTube and
triggers
every
and
channel.
things. Yes.
Yeah. So like I said, please do your own research and come up with your own opinions. If you have any questions, please leave us, your questions, your thoughts, what you're thinking about this whole story. Let us know. We'd love to hear from everybody. There is a subscribe button right on top. Go ahead and click that and you can leave any messages you want. We'll go ahead and read them on air.
Absolutely.
We would love to hear from each and every one of you. It would really help us out a lot too. If you subscribe, would be great.
Yes. So in July 25th of 74, Jamie, take it.
so
Or
in 74 is when he almost escalates, right? So it's like he's telling you, he goes in, he asks for certain things, makes you feel sorry for him. And I think that's how his whole life worked. So you feel sorry for him, you give him a service, and then he takes advantage of you, right?
kind of.
So he'll be like, "Oh, my knife doesn't work. I need to peel
Oh, this is,
potatoes. Give me a
this
knife."
is, his car broke down. Yes.
Right. So then
Yes.
his car breaks down, and he's like, "Hey, don't worry about the phone call. If
Just give me a
you have a
screwdriver.
screwdriver, I'll
What
be
year was
fine."
this at?
This is 1974.
4. Yes. What
Okay,
I
so
Yes,
his first thing was in 1968. Everybody, he was October 3rd was
correct.
1968.
So now
He
he's
was
21.
15. Right.
So, oh wait, but there's also on 1969 the mortuary that was broken into, and they think he had something to do that. So what he did, what their thought, he had broken into an Australian mortuary,
Mhm.
and two of these elderly women that were deceased. He
So they said that the women were mutilated using
uh-huh.
a pathologist knife. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
One body contained a strange wound inflicted with a knife in the area of the thigh. Police believe that Dupas was involved in the break-in because they say, and this is something that I found interesting, that in these types of cases, they always have a calling card in a way.
Yeah,
To
signature.
so a signature, yes. So he would slice the breasts and the thighs. He was a thigh and breast man, I guess. That's a joke. So sorry.
Right.
Off
No,
color.
but
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 he had a type.
yeah, he had a type, but didn't he put the breast in one of his victims in their mouth?
He
He
may
did.
have.
He did. Yes.
Yes. But
And
but on the 1969 thing, let's not go too far.
right,
So the body contained a strange wound inflicted with a knife in the thigh area. So that's why police believe Dupas was involved, because that was his
agreed.
calling. Um,
Right,
uh, these wounds inflicted matched a later murder victim that will come up.
right,
So
right.
yes, so there's that. We are at 74 though. Go
Okay.
Okay,
ahead.
there it is, right
So
here.
at
July
79
24th.
though,
hmm
who do you
So
want to talk?
that was 1969 when that happened. So in 1974, this was the first time he went to jail.
Right. So he was sentenced to 12 years, but he only did 5.
No, he was
He was
sentenced for
sentenced to
9 years
9 years and only did 5.
and appealed
Right,
it 12
right.
years. Attack on a
Fuck you guys
woman.
and your shots.
No, this is the show. This is how we do it.
That's the whole point. The whole point is to have your cocktails and just
and talk about murder mysteries. No,
I love it.
what I found interesting is that when he was incarcerated or in and institutionalized, he had the impulses were not there, right?
They weren't.
Um,
He was
they
a
weren't.
model
Model citizen.
prisoner.
Yes, a model prisoner. So much so that they did let him out in 5 years instead of 9. So
Right,
at the age of
right,
21, he went into jail. At the age of 26, he came out. However, once he's
right,
out in the open, so 1979 is when he was released. 2
but
months
right.
after his release from
2
prison,
months. Yes.
he committed another essay on 4 separate women. There was 4
4
separate
women.
attacks over to only 2 months after he was released, over a 10-day span of
Right.
time.
but did you see what the detectives said on top? In November of 1973, the police station described Dupas as a weak and
Compliant, yeah.
Right.
compliant. And then he said he stood out to me. The guy was just pure evil. Okay,
Pure
Yes.
evil.
if mine gets out, like, come on now, like
Don't you fight for him to stay in? Do you
I would be like, this motherfucker needs to stay in, or he needs to go to, like, I don't know, like,
But, I mean,
somebody
as
needs to
Jamie
handle this shit. You know what I mean?
now I
Someone
know
needs
that
to handle this.
this wasn't America. America is put you in jail and whatever, we're not trying to rehabilitate. I
Right.
assume from what I've heard and what we've witnessed from this story that Australia is more, let's try to rehabilitate before um, we throw the gauntlet. We
Right,
throw the book
right.
at you, right? So
So
yes,
also, in jail, there was no women,
no,
right?
there was no temptation.
So there was no temptation. So
Mm-mm.
he wasn't like, oh, I need to do this to a woman. There's all these guys. I'm a model citizen. I do this, whatever,
And he's
you
and
know?
honestly, in that situation, he's a beta, right? He's not an alpha male. You
Well,
know what I
and
Oh,
they
mean?
even said here,
1,000%. And
it even says,
I think that's what stems his psychosis is
I
that
don't.
he will never be the alpha. So
I'm not.
he's trying to make
I don't.
himself the alpha.
It always is a power grab, correct? Anytime there's an essay, it is for power, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
one of the things I found interesting in the YouTube thing or the documentary that, and it was produced in Australia, is that there is a theory that psychopaths are born, or sorry, sadists like him are born
Are born that way.
with their neural pathways wired incorrectly.
Correct.
And had they have caught it when he was young, they may have been able to help.
But they didn't
However,
show any signs, though,
well, he did. They were
until he was
saying
15.
that no. They were saying he was plotting murder and SA at ages of 5 and 10
Oh, I didn't see
before
that.
he
Agreed.
ever committed it. Had they have been able to catch it at early stages, maybe they could have redirected those pathways.
Oh, see, I didn't see that part. I didn't know that the
It's a
documentary I
theory.
saw that there
Yeah.
was, when he was 15 and he was caught and he was
Mhm.
caught, the peeping Tom and then stealing the underwears. That's where, it started off on the documentary I saw. So
Right.
that's interesting to see.
And one of the
So
things that I
there,
found, go ahead. I'm
go
sorry.
ahead, Sissy. No, go ahead.
One of the things I found very interesting is that when his mom was like, "Oh, it's just this," because she dismissed it, because of that, he was like, "Oh, I'm normal." Had
Right.
she been like, "What the fuck, dude?" He may have had, we don't know, but because she dismissed it, he thought he was normal, even though he clearly wasn't. So that was
So
my
there was a trial where they were trying to prove that if they take an MRI of your brain and a certain part of your brain does this, they'll know you're a serial killer, right? A serial rapist, serial killer, regardless, right? Because one part of your brain works this way, the other part of your brain works this way. What mom, though, is going to go, I want that test? I want to know if my baby is going to be a serial killer, a rapist,
watch
whatever.
your words here.
Uh, serial essayer,
There we go.
regardless.
Bloop 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 bloop.
Boop, boop.
But
Bloop.
but there's actual people that believe that you're born this way, right? And then there's activists that think that you were made this way.
Well, I mean, it's nature versus nurture, correct?
Agreed. Agreed.
Now, I don't think it
So,
was
but which
nurture,
people,
though.
no, I don't either. But which children do you decide
Well,
need
okay,
that test?
being parents, we're all parents. We
Yeah.
all notice
Yep.
things with our children.
Mhm.
If you've noticed, I mean, you had even said he had practiced on animals, right?
Right,
Um,
right.
if you notice your child doing something like that, don't you go, "Bring light
Hey,
bulb?
Bob.
Let me. This can't be. Maybe we need to look
Normal.
further into this. You know what I mean? And see if
No, I
there's
get
something,
that.
obviously and honestly as a parent, you always want to find the best in your children, and I identify as Shrek and Uncle Fester is what he said. I said they called him Pugsley. That was hilarious. But I mean, in that respect, when you see a child going down a path, you go, okay, do we need to take a minute? Now again, this is back, I mean, his first offense was in 1968.
Right.
I mean,
Mental
don't
health and that was not.
but don't we do that with all our children? Like if they're having problems with reading, okay, let's get them tested for reading. If they're
Mhm.
having a problem with speech, we got to go get them tested for speech. If they're having a problem, this is why
Yeah,
we
but on the
have.
other hand, your brain doesn't want to think that your baby could do that.
I
I
wouldn't
mean,
want
True,
to
let's be
but
think
if
serious.
that
you're killing animals, you're like, what the fuck is going on with this kid?
at that point, if they've and if at that point, if I see that out of my child, I'd be like, there's something wrong. We need to go see somebody. If you can't tell
Right,
me, at least
right.
tell somebody.
But he did go to a psychologist prior.
And
But
well,
in 1968, psychologists were actually thought of as taboo.
or quacks.
Right.
Um,
So
and
they're like,
And well, and the crazy part is he didn't come up of an upbringing where he was abused, his parents were divorced.
He
His
was not.
dad did this. His
Yeah.
mom did that.
His
I
mom
mean, they were
doted
all
over
fairly
him. Yeah.
treated.
Yeah.
Now,
Uh,
what I didn't
one
see throughout the story is the mom come out and say anything. Like I didn't see anything from
Well,
my research of the
let's
mom
be real.
say
She's
anything.
probably dead now. Uh, she did say that it was just a brainstorm, which I found an interesting way of saying that.
I agree.
Selena said, didn't work out for me. I still can't read. I just voice text. Words are hard.
You know,
I get it.
no. Let me explain. My
Oh,
kid, okay, she knew how to manipulate the system in high school. So she would tell her teachers, I can't do a test because my mom is she left my
dyslexic. Yeah.
dad. No, she would use a
Oh,
divorce.
oh
And you know what?
shit.
So you know what her teachers would do? They would take her to the movie theaters during testing and they would do the test for her.
That sounds like Jamie in high school.
Yeah. Yeah. My kid knew how to manipulate the system. So Selena, yeah, nice try, kid. Nice try. Just being lazy.
My sister had the security guards wrapped around her little finger. Uh, what I found
I
interesting
had
about
everyone wrapped around my finger, just
they'd be
FYI.
like, "Have you seen Jamie?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not her keeper." Uh, no, what I found interesting about this is they said had he had been smarter, so serial killers with a higher IQ know better than to commit their crimes in close proximity to where they live. Um, however, uh, Peter was not a smart man. He had to repeat his freshman year of high school. He did most of his crimes within it. So he shit where he slept. You know what I
Well,
mean?
he even
If that
dropped
makes
out of
sense.
high school. He even
Yes.
dropped out at 10th grade.
Right. So he didn't plan, even though he plotted and premeditated his crimes. He didn't premeditate them for further than his radius of where he was living. He would just move to different places where they didn't know. You know, what I mean,
Mhm.
I found that very interesting because I mean, he wasn't a very smart man. You know what I mean?
No.
He wasn't. So he was very dumpy.
Hmm. Well,
And they even said, like, you wouldn't think of this man because he was overweight. He
well, not so
stayed to
much when he was
himself.
yeah, when he was a kid, he was overweight. Yes. Go ahead.
Right. But then they also stated that he moved. So every single time he committed something, got arrested for it, got let go, he'd move. So
But still
they
committed in
they
the
think
same area that he was
right.
living at the
But
time. Yeah.
so they think that he's not that smart, and he's not. But
No.
yet, like, you move, you move
Right.
and do shit, right?
Well,
Like
his parents moved to be away from, uh, be
the
away from
scrutiny.
the yes. And what I also found interesting is when he had done the crimes in 70, it was in 74, correct? Uh, they
Which
came.
Is
No,
it
one?
74, 79?
We
here's what
we
I'm thinking. Let's just back up. So when they came to his parents'
74.
house and said, "We know it's Peter," his dad was like, "No, it wasn't. What are you
No, it
talking
wasn't.
about?" And they absolutely defended him without even knowing. I mean, he was absolutely guilty. Um, it's funny he had a few girlfriends, but prior to the 74 thing, he was working in a place his brother had got him hired on. His brother was like, "I'm going to vouch." They all covered for him, right? They knew he was off or touched or whatever you want to call it. Um, but he brought his girlfriend to a Christmas dance, and she had two black eyes. The next day at work, the guy was like, "Hey, you probably shouldn't hit your girlfriend," and he punched the guy in the stomach. And he
Right,
is like, "It
right.
didn't
Yes.
hurt me, but I found it odd." And then prior to committing the crimes in 74 that he was jailed for, he was taking things from work that nobody should be taking to use in his crimes. I
Right.
found that interesting.
No, I
Yeah,
agree.
that was in July 25th of 1974. That's when that happened.
So
And
I
then
think, yeah. Go ahead.
in 1979, approximately 2 months after this release from prison, again, he did with a woman.
He
4
essayed
separate
women,
attacks.
yes.
Yeah, 4
I thought
separate
it was,
attacks over a 10-day period
he went
on
on
October.
sprees. Yes.
Yeah,
He's like,
and
I've
it
been
was
holding it in for 5 years. I gotta go do it. 5 years
and
and
it
2 months. Let's go.
well, and it's not like he waited and, kind of played. He was just like, you know what I mean? Like, then on February 28th, 1980, he received a 5-year sentence in prison,
Mhm.
with a charge of, of that.
3
And it,
charges of assault
Mhm.
with
let me go,
intent.
let me go down
Malicious.
here where his charges are real quick.
Yeah, it was malicious wounding, assault, and with intent to rob, and indecent assault. So so then that's 85 or 80. He gets out in 85
Yes.
from that. Again, he's
Okay,
committed.
so
He's
hold on real quick.
yes, yes.
In 1980, February 28th, the report states, and this is a quote, there is little that can be said in Dupas' favor. He remains extremely disturbed, immature, and a dangerous man. His release on parole was a mistake. That
Again,
is documented as a quote from somebody that was
one
like,
of his.
this
There was
man should
one
not
guy that
do it.
was like there the whole time for him, right?
Right,
A police officer or his
right.
parole officer even. His name was Vladimir, I believe.
Agree. Yes.
So he was 5 years. So 85 in February he was released from prison. Fast forward after his release, he was sentenced to 12 years for SA that was committed 4 days from his release from prison. 4 days from February of 85, 4 days after that, he committed the same crime again.
Right.
And in June, he was out for what? February, March, April, May, June. 4 months he was out, but then sentenced to another 12 years in prison because of
Which
the same.
again, he did not do the full term
No.
because he was a model citizen.
During that time, though, I believe. Hold on. Nope, that's not it.
Nope.
Nope.
You're
You
jumping
understand where
ahead.
you're right. I am. No. I'm. Hold on. Back up.
Okay. So regardless, this dude has been doing this for so
He is
long.
he is a repeat
And you
offender.
got right. So you get this. They're
I am
like,
right
okay,
on that.
he was a baby. He gets probation. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with him? 10 years, he only does this many. How many more do you need before this MF goes for life?
Right.
Like
So
you see the pattern.
it was the time where he was in prison in 85 that he met a
Oh, his
nurse.
wife.
Yes, that's what I
Yes.
was trying to say. So
Oh, okay.
during this time, and he was very good. He needed a mother figure, and that's kind of
Right.
a even though he he revered and despised mothers at the same time, which is an enigma to me. But
Right. No, agreed.
so he was imprisoned in the Pentridge prison. He formed a relationship with a mental health nurse. Her name was Grace McConnell, who was
See.
16 years his senior, so already a motherly figure, correct? Um,
Right.
she described her marriage to Dupas during the inquest of something else. He insisted that he was in love with me, and that and that with my help he could come out of himself and become a normal person. I agreed to marry Dupas, not out of particular love for this man, but for the sense of responsibility of helping him become a useful member of the community. In my mind, our relationship was a mother and son. Our sex life was very basic, which is odd, almost non-existent, actually, which is not odd because he had this kink, right? Or
Right.
whatever it would be. I would go
Kinda
along
gross.
with it out of the sense of responsibility. It got to a stage where I could not bear him touching me, she said. One of the things I found interesting is he also found another woman later, but they had mentioned there are women, and I can say that I'm probably one of them, who have a Superman complex. Are you agreeing with me?
I'm right behind you.
Who have a Superman complex where they think that I'm going to be good
You can
enough.
save them.
And
Right.
I can save you. And that's that Superman complex. I am going to love you enough to be your savior, and I can change you because I'm going to love you enough if you just have that love, right? And he found a few of them to do that. This one surprised me but he also was in jail, not having the impulses, and he was able
Right.
to manipulate her into I they also said he had an affinity for being able to manipulate or garner respect from the older community. That's not the right word, but you understand
No,
what I'm
it's
saying.
not respect. Yeah, you're right.
No.
Garner
So
favor
here's
favor from the
Okay.
older community.
Wouldn't you feel okay? So, like she said, this is like a son and mother relationship. Okay, why are you sleeping with your son? Like, if that's the person you look at, I would be like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you're looking at this person, like, this is your son, that's kind of,
Well,
no.
but
I mean, I understand the fixing, the trying to be the person, like, okay, I get that, but she didn't word it that way. She worded it as like a mother-son type, I would yeah, no, that's to me, like, I would be like, okay, maybe it's more like, you know what? Like for me, it's like I know with my ex-husband, you want to try to fix that person, make them a better person, but I wouldn't think that that's my fucking son.
so
I ain't
I
can't
don't
packing
think
up
it
my
started
shit.
out that way.
No, I don't either. I think it was more of I can fix you. And he made it
Right.
more of the mother's son. He wanted her to mother him. And the
Agreed.
reason
Yep.
he didn't um take out his aggression on her, if that makes sense, is because he revered her as if she was like his mother,
His
whom he
mother.
loved. Yes.
Right.
Um one thing that
So
I found go ahead.
a mother and son relationship is ridiculous. Like it really is. And even if his psychosis doesn't revolve around his mama, he loves his mama regardless. So even if he thinks that she gave him all his love, everything he needed, he still, in his mind, needs more. So he
He was
goes
also very
after,
clingy with her
he
as
was.
well. Like when family was over, they had she had mentioned, and maybe I'm going too far. Finish your thought there. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine. I highly like the discussion, but it's like even though she's a smother mother, a helicopter mother, it's almost like he's trying to replicate that with whoever he's with. So, and again, that is a shiitake thing to do. Like, if you fantasize about your mama, so my thing is, he wanted the love from his mama, but in a sexual way, which I don't think he would ever do with his mama.
I don't
So they
know.
did have, I think they had a great bond. And I don't think that mom or dad could ever be held responsible for what he did.
I also, they can't be held responsible, but they should have seen.
No, I agree.
She shouldn't have dismissed it.
At
Let's be real.
15.
If any of my kids, either of my girls, committed a crime or did something like that, I'd be like, "Yep, they did." Or if one of my girls committed a murder, I'd turn them in probably first. And
Mhm.
I knew. I would not be the one who was going to try to protect them, because that's not helping society. It would be the hardest fucking thing I ever did. What is your
I'm that mom. I am that mom that'd be like, "Hey, you stole that candy bar. You better go get your ass and return it right now.
Yes.
Before you get in that car, I better see you go apologize, return it, and say you're sorry." But that's me.
But
And
if my kid uh slice somebody's hand, new mother's hands, because I wouldn't say, oh, it was just a brainstorm. I would be like, no, this is something that we need to fucking do. You know what I mean? We need to fucking fix
So,
this.
so I could see that. So I can also see not turning them in and trying to get them help. But
But
I
they
agree.
didn't do that either.
Like, agree,
They
agree.
they were they backed him up every fucking
Mhm.
time.
Right.
You know,
But no, he didn't have a problem, you know.
they didn't.
In their eyes.
They turned a blind eye. They had rose-colored glasses. He's fine. He's just a little touched. I don't know what they thought. I mean, I'm not his parents,
Well, I
but
mean, think about it. How many mothers are there out there? I mean, there's kids. I mean, think about it. We all have children, right? And they've all been in school. You know, I have 3 young ones that are still in school. My oldest is out of school, but I remember, and I still to this day, which is like one of the biggest things when I go to school, I always tell, the principal, I know my children are not innocent. I know that they played a part in whatever it is. I'm not saying that, but what I want to know is who started it.
right,
I wanna know who started.
Right.
If it was my kid, then I'm gonna deal with it. If it was the other kid, then you know what? They were defending themselves, and this is why they did it, but I'm not excusing what they did. I
right.
just wanna know who started. Because if my kid is the one doing something, best believe when they get home, best believe
Oh yeah,
they're
we're
gonna
gonna take care
and
of
like
it.
and like I always tell my kid, "You know what? It's so easy. I'll take you down to Tijuana, do what I gotta do, and bring you back. It's not another country, and then go ahead and call the cops on me. Go ahead and tell them, I took you down to a whole
Rose,
nother country."
WTF, bro.
And my kids will tell you that but at the same time, it's like, take responsibility. Like I always tell my kids, take responsibility for what you've done and say, hey, you know what? Own up to it. Own up because you're gonna get
No, I
everything you
agree.
do in life have consequences. We all
Yes,
have consequences in life. We can't just all go around and say, hey, you know what? I want that car. I'm gonna jump into it and take it. Like it just doesn't work that way.
right.
And my main thing is in those days, shit was different. Now you could be like, oh, my feelings got hurt. I mean, it's a whole different world now than it was then.
True.
And you
And
had so many different instances where you are proven guilty, fucking keep him in the goddamn jail.
Right.
Do you
Well,
know how many people's lives would have been saved?
a lot. I mean, and we'll get there, but there's like 6 that they think he did, 3 that they convicted him on. I think there's more than that, to be fair.
Agreed.
Um,
Oh
to
yeah.
be fair.
Absolutely. I
Um,
mean, just look at his here's his conviction
right.
list right here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8
And
that we know of, and one of them he appealed and won.
He did.
what yes, and that's insane to me. One of the things I wanted to say about his marriage to Grace McConnell is
Yeah.
that there was an instance, and this is a big kind of a big thing. There was an instance where it was like Christmas Eve, and she had to work overnight. And he's like, "Just let me come with me.
Right.
Let me come with you. Let me come with you." And she goes, "I don't care what you do. Just find something to do. I'm tired of
Mhm.
you being on my hip. I can't do this. I have to go work. I have to do anything." So he pretended as if he was going to go fishing the next day, and he
Right.
prepared
But he took
to go murder someone. He prepared for it. And
And
then and so he had found he went to an RV park and went to the bathrooms there, and there was a woman in there, and she ended up getting away, but he got arrested
well,
for that.
her
Her
friends
friends
chased him off,
chased him, yes. And
and
so
then he crashed his car.
yes, and all he got was false imprisonment for that. Now, the
Right.
good thing of Grace McConnell is she was like, "Fuck that, I'm out. I can't save him. I'm done." So I mean, good for her. But he only got 3 years in jail for that, and
Right.
that was in
So it's
1994.
like how many more times do you need to make this
Oh,
dude
right. So up until that
accountable?
point, he was at 15, he got 18 months probation. So that, I mean, I guess even in the US, that is before it could have been sealed because he was a minor, correct?
Right.
I
Mhm.
don't know if it was, I don't know the rules and regulations in Australia. But then, you know, by the time he's 21, so 6 years later, he gets the SA charge. He gets another one in 1980. So now we're up to 3. And you know what I mean? And then there's another one in 85. So now we're up to 4. In 94, there's another one. How is that not, showing that you have a
A
history
fucking
of,
problem.
yeah, a fucking history. Why is he getting off so easy? And again, Jamie, you said it. They were trying to
Is this
uh
where is this the one where they found him that he took a bag with the condoms and stuff like that in the
yeah,
glove? Okay, so
yes.
this is a picture of that.
Yes.
Just want to make
So
sure
they
I
were trying to show
There is
that
a
if
definite fucking history here though.
there
Had
is,
they have thrown, I mean,
there is
multiple offenses, a repeat offender should, here in the United States, let's be real, would
3
have been,
strikes, you're out.
yes, you would have been put away for life after the third.
Right.
So let's
But
not talk
so
about the,
they're trying to decide that he's a psychopath.
but he
Okay,
we
cool.
already
Keep
know
him
he
there.
is.
Keep
but I
him
mean,
there. You
look
don't
at
need
the
to
court
let him
system.
out so you can do your
Your
I mean, look
psychoanalysis on him.
right. Like you already know this dude is horrible. He started at before 15 years old.
Right. He was planning his first essay at 10 years old, they said.
I want
So
to know
Planning it.
he out so when he turned 40, I think it was 41, he served 20 years.
Yes. By
20
the time
years
he
of
was
jail
41
time.
years old,
let me go back onto
You
that one.
served 20 years.
half
And
of
you're
his
telling
life.
me you're going to let his ass out?
Hmm.
Bro,
So,
I would have
so
shanked him.
even though he was given 3 years for the false imprisonment, he only served 2.
Mhm.
Right.
He went in
He
August of
never
94 and
served his full term on anything.
Well, look at the one on June 28th, 1985. He only served 4 days and then committed 4 days after his release. So he was released and then he committed another crime 4 days later.
and
Like,
then
wouldn't that be a freaking like I would be like, okay, you served 5 years already. Here we are. We released you in 4 days. You've committed another one. So we're going to commit you now for 12 years.
But
What
you're a model citizen.
yeah, you're
I
good.
want to know, and this is where I question, because back then I feel like our systems now are going back to that stage because we've got the babies. We baby people too much.
I
I
know.
feel. I mean, like Selena said here, in her comment, we
Oh,
live in the world with crybabies who don't take responsibility for their actions. Grow some balls and own
and
up
own
to
up
your
to your
own.
shit. Yeah, own up to your
Yeah,
shit is what I say. And I agree.
yeah.
There's the oh, I apologize for the dogs barking.
No worries.
However, I feel like, and it's not, I can't say it's a generation. I feel that there are people in this world that have the victim mentality, right?
I'm
I
tired of
did it
blaming
because of,
everybody else.
yes, even though I'm in the wrong, I'm gonna blame you for it. I'm gonna blame this for it. It's never my fault. I'm never that person. I'm always like, yeah, it was me. Yeah, I was a dick.
Or
You know what I mean?
I did this because my mom did that. I did that because
Right,
my dad did that. I did that because, because I have a lot of friends. I've got, personal stories. I can
right.
go where we all, but like I've always said in the beginning, we have a path, our
You have
own path to
right
make,
to
our
choose.
own story.
I mean,
I could have been a certain way. And
I can I can just say my ex-husband, Alex's dad, he did not have the best maybe you should turn off your camera, Jamie. But he did not have the best upgrade role models as a father. However, he is the best father I've ever met. He is such a good father. He chose to not repeat that line of he chose not to be the victim, and I'm not going to be that person. So you're right. You have your choices. I'm going to either continue on this line of whatever. I can do this or I can do that, and he chose to not go down that trauma. And I think we all have that choice, but I don't know.
I'm tired. I'm going to be honest. I am tired of the blaming other people. I'm tired of blaming the parents. I'm so sick and tired because my parents got divorced. This is who I am. Because my parents this is my.
Right,
You know what? It's my own fucking life. I do whatever the fuck I want. At the end of
right.
the day, you're a grown ass kid at 18. You could do whatever the fuck you want. You could
And
either go ahead and finish college. Fine, that's great. Happy for you. Or you cannot finish college. Great. You have a great career. You can work at McDonald's. I don't care. As long as you are fucking happy. And
own your
your path.
shit. Own
Yeah.
your shit.
I'm tired of all this hash me too bullshit.
I'm just tired of, I mean, seriously, if I fucked up, I'm gonna be like, I fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If the person I am today is because of the my past. But yeah, I was a dick. I was a shithead back in the day. You know what I mean? And
I
I own
was
that. I own that. And I apologize to my parents every day. I do.
oh,
Jamie, you know.
absolutely. I
You-
did the same thing. I was a little shithead growing up. I did a lot of fucking things that, you know what, and I got involved in a lot of shit growing up that I feel now, and I learned when I was a mother. That was the first thing, because karma gets you once you're a parent.
oh, does it?
And let me tell you, if you think you're not going to pay for your mistakes back then, you're going to pay for them.
Tenfold.
One child is going to give it to you. And let me tell you, yeah, I have paid for my mistakes, and I'm repaying probably for my mistakes here with my youngest.
I
And
can't wait to see her grow up.
oh god, yeah. I always tell my mom, I always, and I'm very close to my mom and dad. I live next
Yeah.
door to them. We
Mhm.
we are very, very close. And I always tell my mom, I am fucking sorry for the shit I did to you and the shit I put your dad. Because I came up and my mom and dad are very, very, very old school.
Mine too.
Where, oh god, women do what the like my mom is like what the man does, the man's that's how
Right,
old
the man
school,
is the head of the household, the woman is there to, you know, bolster them up. My mom and dad are
Yeah.
the same way. Jamie can attest. I know she's off the screen right now, but uh, Jamie can attest that our parents are old school as well. But and I'm very close. But I have to say, especially once my oldest decided to, do whatever I was like, I am so sorry. I'm getting paid back for everything I ever did to you.
Mhm.
Please don't. I'm like, I feel horrible for ever putting you through anything I ever did. So I understand completely,
Oh, yeah,
but I've
and
owned
I
up
always
to it. I've
I
always
tell
owned
my
up to it.
daughter, I asked my daughter,
Mhm.
now, do you feel the same now that you have a daughter?
W Her
What
her her littles are young yet, though.
Oh, but she's on her little is on at 2 years old, that little girl is ornery, like, no her favorite word right now is never.
Ooh.
Never. Runs around the house saying "no," and then, of course, it doesn't help that grandma teaches her to say never on certain things and jump on the couch. Because I always tell 'em, like, I taught her how to jump on the couch. Sorry, Selena. But,
And that's what grandmas do, though, right?
absolutely.
It's the
But I
parents. Who says my kids are shitheads, LOL.
Oh, yeah.
Wait
But
till they
they
get older, though. I mean, when you get into the teen years and the young adult years is really where you find you're getting paid back for everything you ever did.
What I wanna know is, Selena, since you're on here, are you afraid of when your daughter turns a teen and happen
Yes, that's a great
to
question.
that's what I wanna know. Now, right here that you're on here, are you afraid of when your daughter turns a teen that she might do, if not the same or worse, or be completely different? Like, what are your thoughts on that? I'd like to know that because I wanna know, what are your
Right.
thoughts? Because that's her first, she's 2, and she's an ornery little shithead. I mean, it's true. She comes
I
from
mean,
shitheads. She comes
they
from me
are,
and
as my parents would say, strong-willed, which
yeah,
is honestly not in a way, when you think of kids and how you want them to grow, you don't want them to roll over and just be compliant, correct? As they become into young adults and actual adults, you want them to have their own mind and speak it, but it's really hard when they're 2 because you're like,
yeah,
you haven't earned that yet. You know what I mean?
no. But you can see it though. You can
Yes,
see
you
it
can
on
see
their
it. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, because
Yeah.
I can see it in both of her kids. The one is more like a mellow, and then you have Lily, which is her 2-year-old. She's got 2. She's got a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old, and you could see which one, and the same thing with my children. I have
So
her that drove me
right.
completely fucking nuts, but I'm very proud of her. I'm very, very proud of who she's become, and she's a wonderful mother, a wonderful wife, and we talk every day, so I'm very
I
proud of
love
her.
that.
And, she's my best friend. I call her every day, and if I don't hear from her, I'm like going, "Damn, she didn't call me today." So I'll
Yeah.
call her at 11 o'clock
I
at night.
know. So, so it's funny in our family, I was the compliant one, and and Jamie, once she comes back, was the defiant one. Like the she was I remember when she was about 2, we were over at my grandmother's house, and um she had fallen, and she came up and blamed me, and she was like, punch. That was my sister. So my sister and I, usually the firstborn is the rebel, the one that's going to be, you can't tell him what to do. Yet with my sister and I, for when we were younger, it was her that was the willful one, and I was like, I'm just going to be the people pleaser. So as I got older, I was always trying. Well, I went through a stage where I didn't want to be a people pleaser, but then it came to the point where, I wanted to be, and now I'm kind of in between. So
And that's my fear because I have my, I went through myself with Selena. She says, yes, I ran through my head every day. I have made mistakes in my life, which now as an adult, I look back on it and feel bad for the stuff I put my parents through. I hope my
yes,
kids don't do what I did. I hope that they
we
are better
always
than me.
hope that. And that was very
We hope.
profound, though. Yes.
But it is true. I mean, I know I wasn't the greatest. I was pretty much one of the black sheeps of the family and the only
Yeah,
girl
me
out of the
too.
family. I don't have sisters, so I have brothers
Well, you do
and
now.
now I do. I have Sam, I've got
Yes.
her and I'm blessed because we are actually almost the same. We
Yes.
we have the same thoughts. I think I'd be like, "Oh my god, yes, I thought about that thing." Um, it crosses through my mind, and I think as a parent, sometimes we cover things too much for our children when we're at a certain point,
hmm
and I see it, and with Selena, 'cause she's my oldest, she's 24,
hmm
I learned with her to know that my kids are not perfect. With the stuff that she put me through, and it was a learning process for both of us because I was a
hmm
single mom at a certain point. We had a hardship in the beginning, and she had to grow up fairly fast for her age, and I and
Right.
I and I feel bad for that point, and we've had this discussion before.
Yeah.
Um, and if you guys go back to our first episodes, you guys will see that discussion we had, um,
Yes.
where we talk about, that point in our lives as a parent. At what point do we say, "Hey, our kids aren't perfect and they're gonna make mistakes?" And that's something that, um, I learned with my daughter, and
Well,
now we know with 3 young ones.
hey, that's bullshit. You told me I was perfect. Now we lying. No, I think as parents, when our kids are born, um, we have this, and as they develop their little personalities, we have this thought, and my mom and dad told me about said this about me. You have this plan for them, right? You want them to do this, you think they should do this, you know them better than anyone, right? And
Mhm.
then when they deviate, you get a little sad. You know what I mean? You're like, ugh. However, it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's just them finding their own ways, but we all have this thought of where our kids should be. And when it doesn't happen exactly how we wanted it, we're like, you know,
You
it
know
we almost mourn it. Give me just a second.
Yeah, no worries.
Keep talking, I can
For
hear you.
okay, for me, it wasn't, um, so much that because kind of the path she was going,
I mean, you
um
chose her path anyway, it's fine. I'm
yeah,
joking.
I did, and that was, because of the path she was going, that was one of the reasons why we went to Bali,
Mhm.
and I took her to a whole other side of the world so she can learn humbleness, learn, hey,
Right.
the phone, the internet isn't everything in life. You gotta meet people and create your own identity to be able to move forward. I know social media is a very big thing on our platform, especially from what we've gone through. We've gone through COVID, we've gone through all this stuff. Social media is a big thing. But
Right.
now that everything is open, it's like, you know what? Go be yourself outside of the bubble.
I agree.
Do
Yeah.
something. And that was something when I saw her going down that other road that I don't like, I was like, "Oh, fuck, I'm gonna pay here." This is where I'm paying everything to my parents.
Yeah.
That's where like, "Okay, we're packing up our shit, we're going to Bali."
No,
And
I
we
get
did.
it.
And, in the beginning it's tough, but they don't have internet access unless you're in the hotel or in the villa that you're at. There's
Mhm.
no internet access. So you actually have to talk to somebody in the car to that next destination.
Which is wonderful, right? I mean,
Oh,
I don't typically, I mean, it's funny because when we went to Vegas, we literally had 2 photos of all of us, and a lot of my younger friends were like, "We didn't see a whole lot of photos while you were there," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's because I was living life." You know what I mean? I don't need to take a picture of
mhm.
everything. I don't need to post it every time. Now, do we do I find myself trying to do that a little bit more now that we have the podcast, because people are watching and they know what we're doing. But this time I just want, when we were in Vegas, I wanted to experience it and just have fun. You know what I mean? I
Same
don't
here.
I don't need to take a photo every time. I have it here. I've remembered it. So I mean, I think that's a big thing. You know, I don't have to post it to make it true. I need it in here and to have those real life experiences. I don't, so many times, I mean, I can even, you know, my kids, when they have friends over, they're texting each other from the seat next to each other. And I'm like, you know what I mean? It's like, just actually have a conversation, quit texting. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Do you think that if Peter lived in the society that we are now, right, where we have internet, we have photos, we have cameras, do you think he would be one of those, like the Zodiac killer, like the all the do you think he would take advantage of that? Because I mean, he is one of the biggest serial killers that in Australia that is known for. Do you think he would be like that type of person?
I mean, I do. Here's the thing. Have you realized in recent years, there aren't as many serial killers as there were? Partly because we catch them quicker. You know what I mean?
They're not that
Up
scary.
through the 90s, serial killers were a big fucking thing. And now it's switched to, now it's mass shootings. So it may not be multiple. I mean, there was the BTK and things like that. There's still serial killers, but it's not as prevalent, because I think it's harder and harder to get away with. Does that make sense? I
Oh,
also
absolutely.
I also think that if it was now, as opposed to starting in 1968 and going through the 80s and 90s, I think that he may have been caught earlier, and they would have kept him in jail for multiple offenses rather than letting him back out to, oh, he is, committed SA crimes, but he's not killed anybody yet. And then they find out that, once they find out, and again, maybe because my sister had to drop out, she hasn't texted me at all. Um, but I don't know if her phone died or what, but maybe we need to, catch up on the last part of it where we get into the murdering with her, because I don't want to continue without.
Yeah, no, no, no,
Um,
absolutely do a part
but
2.
yes, and I think we could do that, and AC can join us for part 2 if he wants and things like that. But I don't know, with modern technology and ways of, DNA and things like that, if he would have been able to continue to can do his crimes in a modern society. You know what I mean? I also
Absolutely.
think they may have caught it a little earlier than they did, which
I
sounds
it
insane,
really
knowing that he committed his first crime at 15. You know what I mean?
well, yeah, and stealing underwears. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, like, who does that? But here's the thing, I'm wondering, I mean, the laws here in these states are completely different from the laws in Australia and Canada.
Mhm.
Um, I'm wondering if the laws have changed, and for anybody who's from Australia, I know Tiff, you're from Australia. I know Rocksteady's
Yes,
from Australia. I don't know if you guys are in here, but if you are the laws changed from that time? I'd like to know if the laws
I
changed a
would
little
too.
bit. Are they more stricter? Are they more, are they the same? Um, I'd like to know more of that. I mean, we don't live in Australia. We're in the US, and I know here I I I
Multiple
wanna
offenders
believe
typically get longer sentences, you know?
I
I
wanna
don't know.
believe that. I
Yeah, I do
want to
too.
believe that. But after a lot of certain cases I've seen, especially, with the Gypsy Rose case, you've got the Selena case, you've got so many cases
Well,
that I've seen that
how many things have we just done on our show, you know what I mean, that
yeah.
you know what I
Well,
mean?
I'm gonna be honest, like, I just saw one, and a lot of people know I follow the Scientology one very, very closely to the people who protest. Jessica Pevendesky was actually assaulted last week,
Oh my
and the guy
gosh.
ran into the church. He ran into the Church of Scientology. The police showed up, and they couldn't arrest him because he was protected under the Church of Scientology, and, they needed a warrant for him. and she has it on video. If you guys go on to her video on YouTube, Jessica Pemedesky, you'll see her video where the guy assaults her and the police are there. She has it all on film, and this girl, Lord, she is got some cojones on her to
I
not
mean,
give up. She
I'm
is
glad
there
for that
every
though.
day.
We
I
need squeaky wheels. Let's be real. We need squeaky wheels for Pete's sakes. Because if we don't have squeaky wheels, I mean, if things don't get reported and brought to the forefront, then nobody ever thinks there's a problem, right? So
yeah.
something can happen, whatever offense it is or whatever it is, it can happen daily. And if nobody says anything about it, people think it's okay. So if you do say something, then you are, bringing it to the forefront, and then people can investigate and whatever. But I think it's abhorrent for people to be able to hide behind the guy or behind the veil of a religion when they've
Mhm.
committed a crime.
I
I
wanna
do.
know if the laws in Australia are stricter now because of the cases they've had of these serial killers. From then to now, have they
Right.
changed? Are they different? Um, and what are their thoughts on it? I'd like to know, and I know
Me
Tiff,
too.
she's an Australian, and I know that she follows us a lot, and I hope she can, shine some light on that. That would be great. That's something
Same.
I'd like to know. And for everybody who's following us, please, we've got a subscribe button up there. Go ahead and click on the subscribe button, subscribe
Yes.
to us on YouTube, leave us a message. We would greatly appreciate it. It would help us out a lot. We are so close to 500 followers,
Oh, I'm
which
so excited.
I am really excited because that will make us to the next step on YouTube. And please, please help us out. Subscribe, hit that subscribe button, leave
Yes.
us a message. And if you have a story and you want us to shine light on it, please send us a message, DM us, and you'll find us on YouTube. You'll find us on Facebook, on Twitch, on Instagram. And for all of you followers that follow us on Instagram, unfortunately, I ended up losing our Roses Are Red underscore podcast 007 account. So I have a new account on Instagram, which is just Roses Are Red podcast, which is perfect and easy.
It
Um,
is.
there is no 007, no nothing underneath. Please give us a follow there. Leave us a message, DM us, and let us know if there's a story you want us to shine on and you want to be a guest on our podcast. We'd love to have you guys.
Absolutely.
Um,
If you
we'd
have a sh
appreciate it.
Yeah, if you have a story that you're so into, like, having my sister on tonight, this is something that she, a couple weeks ago, goes, "Hey, you guys should do this," or actually, maybe even a month ago, "You guys should do this on Roses Are Red," and I was like, "Yes, absolutely," and, tonight seemed to be a good night to do that, but, bring it to us, and we'll have you on if you wanna be on and help tell the story, great. If not, we'll do it, but, be better if you were on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And
If it's
we're gonna
something.
do part 2 to this story because,
Yes,
we lost her, technical difficulties, and, we lost her, so we are definitely gonna do part 2,
yes,
next week,
next
and
week?
hopefully AC will be back, but I know he's enjoying himself right now in
Yes,
Vegas and having fun, um, and hopefully, he will be able to join us next week on the Roses Are Red podcast, and,
yes,
we
kinda add
definitely
a
miss
little
him.
color, yes. My sister said her phone won't connect, that's fine, I just
No
told her
worries.
next week we'll do a part 2, and, it'll be great.
Yeah, and, it was perfect where we left off. We left off, talking about
Kinda right in the
what our
middle of
thoughts.
where we needed to be.
Yeah,
Yes.
right in the middle, and this is a great start. Like I said, everybody, please do your own research. You have a whole week to do your research for next Friday on, the Peter. I always call him Doofus, but it's not Doofus, it's actually
Dupas.
Dupas. Dupas. Please, go do your research on him, and, next Friday when we are on, let us know what your thoughts are. Let us know
Yeah,
what your opinions are on this whole thing because this is just an insane story on how he just got away with so much.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
just got away in so many I don't wanna spoil it the end,
I
because I
know.
want you to be able to, but do your research on it. And this is crazy. Like I have literally here are my notes. I've got
I
two
know.
notepads right
I've
here
notes.
of notes on this whole thing because it's just crazy. Um,
I
you
love
know,
doing honestly, Rose, I'm so excited for the way our show has uh evolved, right? At first we're like, I don't know, what are we gonna do?
yeah. In the
Yeah,
beginning, we're like, huh, what do we do?
let's just talk. And then we were like, okay, let's do stories. And then we brought AC in, and now we have guests. I think it's evolved into something so great. I mean, I just think it's wonderful. It's one of okay. Don't tell Dave. This is my favorite night of the week.
Dave, cover your ears. Tonight, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
I mean, I love doing our. Don't get me wrong; they're both my favorite nights. But I like doing what we do for How Was Your Day because it's lighthearted and whatever. But I love doing those deep dives and having intellectual conversation about a subject. And this, it just makes my brain happy.
I love that my thing is I love that I can actually say things without holding back because I know there's a lot of things that
Yeah.
people they're like, "Wait, you actually like that stuff? Wait a minute,
Hmm.
that's" because
Right.
there's a lot of things, we have our I don't wanna say our characters, but, from our other previous apps that we had, that we've been on, we've been more conservative, I wanna say, more
I
on certain
agree. Yes.
things,
Yeah. Yes.
and I love that here we can really say what we think, feel, thoughts, and, you
And we
know
can all have different opinions. We can
Mhm.
not every time do we agree. Not every time. I know. Sorry, Dave. You heard what I meant, though. I like the intellectual aspect of this show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, you and AC and I and whoever we have on, we don't always have to agree on the story or whatever we're telling. We all bring uh, our own view of how it is. A lot of times we agree. Let's be real, we do.
Yeah.
But there are some times. I mean, when we initially did Gypsy Rose, I was like, I don't. You're like, I think she knows what she's doing, and I'm like, no, she's been abused. And now I'm like, I agree with you, Rose, based on everything that's fucking happened since. But you know what I mean?
But that's
Have
the
our
beauty of life.
yes,
We don't have to always have to agree, but we don't
agreed.
have to argue because somebody doesn't agree with us. We don't.
No,
It's like, "Okay, that's cool," this is this is my opinion, your opinion, that's
well,
cool. Later on you change, "Hey, I'm
right.
cool with it." You
And
know what
we
I mean?
can state our opinion and uh back up our opinion, and we all each listen to each other and go, "Oh, I get how you feel that way."
Mhm.
Ah, I mean, how adults should be, right?
Absolutely, and you know what? I honestly I'm a strong believer. I think when we all met in Vegas,
Mhm.
it brought us that much
Oh,
closer,
I know.
that much stronger, and
Yes.
we're a team, and,
Oh, absolutely.
it's sad to see that AC's not with us tonight. It is very sad. I do miss him a lot, but I know he's having fun, and I know that he had to do some prior commitments tonight, and, we all have a life, right? And that's
Yeah,
the beauty of our friendship is that, "Hey, you know what? No problem.
yeah,
We're here. We gotcha. Have fun."
exactly.
And that is the beauty and, for everybody, that is the beauty of having a friendship in life.
Absolutely.
Let's all be adults and let's all have a heart and still care for each other and still be, just because we can't agree, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. We don't always I mean, if the world worked on the same path, we'd be a boring fucking place, you know what I mean?
Exactly,
Oh,
exactly. I love other points of views. I love, being open to them, and, again, I may not agree initially, but if we have an open conversation and, you have valid points and okay, I'm open to changing my mind too.
mhm.
I'm not stuck in one rut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
And
don't
you
want to
know
be
what?
like everybody else.
And I love that words are hard and when you have dyslexia, it's okay.
It is okay. You know what? We are going to bring awareness to dyslexia, and we are overcoming overcoming it. Even if we say things wrong, it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. And we both have dyslexia, which is the best thing ever. We
I know.
and and that's I don't have to feel which, in my life and the path that I do, and you know that. I don't have to feel where I have to be scared on what I'm gonna say, because of my dyslexia, and
I
because
agree.
I might not type the right word. I don't feel that way with you or AC or Dave at all. I could be myself, and I
Absolutely.
love the friendship we have, and I'm so blessed.
Same.
Words are hard, and that's gonna be our next fucking T-shirt. I
It
swear to
is.
God, words are hard. Every time we say words are hard, I feel that we should have like a thing, take a shot.
Yes. Oh, we'd be fucking drunk. I'd be under
Oh,
the table. I'd be like, but we should take a shot now.
I know. And on that note, I think we should take a shot
And
and
probably wrap it
end
up a
our
little.
show.
Yes.
Yeah, and do part 2 next Friday, if it's all possible, with Sam's sister, to wrap up this story, which is, I know it's crazy. And stay tuned, because I will be in Vegas again with AC on Monday. So Monday or Tuesday, I'm not sure what day he's going to be able to do it, but absolutely, I will be there.
I
It's
already have
already
a
on
shirt that says hard are words or words are hard, but we
You know
could make
what? I think you need to stamp that. Stamp that before somebody else does.
I know, right? And then he
Um,
goes, "Wrap it up. I need my wife."
sorry,
He's
she's
not at the
mine.
campground. All
So
right.
here it is for another beautiful, amazing night. Thank you, Sam. Thank you for your
Thank
sister
you.
for joining us tonight and this crazy story. Everybody do your research on it. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button on the top.
Yes.
Help us out. We're so close to 500, and I would really, really appreciate it. So Sam and AC would appreciate if you guys
Yes.
help us to get there. So cheers, fuckers.
All right. Love you. Salute.
Love ya.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That one hit me. I have rum. It's fine.
So thank you, everyone, for a wonderful night, and we will see you all soon next week.
Yes.
7:00, 8 p.m. 7:00, 7. Never mind. You all know. Never
7
mind. You all know.
Pacific, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Pacific. Or sorry, not Pacific, Eastern. Backwards.
You all
Okay.
know. We love you
And
all.
whatever it is,